Death in Star Wars is often a very fickle thing. Whether a character dies and becomes a Force ghost, or whether they die and then make a surprise comeback at a later date, Star Wars seems keen on proving Luke literally correct when he said,
"No one's ever really gone."
So those instances when a major character in Star Wars dies and doesn't come back from the dead are powerful. Fives, Han Solo, Satine, Padme, etc. However, there is one death that I believe stands head and shoulders above the rest. One death that was executed so perfectly that I sat in stunned silence as the credits rolled when I first watched it. The death of Kanan Jarrus. Kanan's death is both technically brilliant and thematically perfect. Visually, it is a gorgeous scene, even if you're not a huge fan of the Rebels' animation style. The vibrant yellows and blues and purples of the fire, along with the agonizing cracks spreading across the fuel tank as Kanan holds back the explosion. It's absolutely stunning. Then there's the music. It fades in over the scene, making it seem deeply surreal. The voices within the track act as raw, audible expressions of what Hera and Kanan no doubt feel in his final moments.
You know how I feel.
Do I?
Their romance that had been slowly blossoming over the course of Star Wars Rebels also, of course, adds to how gut-wrenching the scene is. Just moments before, Hera told Kanan she loved him for the first time. She likely thought that this would be the start of a beautiful, official relationship. After all, as we later learn, there's a baby on the way. Furthermore, this was the perfect end to the character of Kanan Jarrus. After all, a death scene is never about one scene. It's about the hundreds of scenes that have come before to culminate in that death scene. Through the seasons of Star Wars Rebels, I'm not sure we saw a character undergo as much change as Kanan did. In the novel A New Dawn and Season 1 of Rebels alone, he went from an Order 66 survivor on the run who had no faith in the Force to a reluctant rebel, Jedi, and unconfident master to Ezra Bridger.
If you can see yourself, you will never be truly blind. Kanan Jarrus, Jedi Knight.
Introspectively though, Kanan changed more once he lost his sight. He learned to open himself up to the will of the Force and learned to see through other means. He became a total servant of the Force, in the vein of Qui-Gon Jinn before him. What's more is that I strongly believe that through the Force, Kanan knew he was going to die on the mission to rescue Hera. At the beginning of the episode, we see Kanan meditating, and we hear snippets of dialogue from later in that very episode, along with dialogue from future episodes. He knew that in order for Hera and the others to live, he would have to die. Not only is his death incredibly selfless, but it was a powerful feat in terms of Force ability. There are several occasions throughout Star Wars Rebels where Kanan truly gives himself over to the Force, and it elevates his abilities far beyond anything he typically displays. And this is perhaps the greatest example of that. To hold back such a massive explosion, even for less than a minute, is a feat that even Yoda would find challenging. At the end of the day, it isn't really about strength in the Force that makes one a great Jedi. It's about faith in the Force and compassion towards others. Kanan shows both in excess in his final moments, and he dies a true Jedi through and through, sacrificing himself for his two students and the love of his life. In the moments before he dies, Kanan seems to grow beyond his crude physical matter and regains his sight, allowing him to gaze upon Hera one final time. And it's perfect. After all, what are broken eyes to a luminous being such as he? And with a push and a flash, Kanan joins with the living Force for good. It's one of the most powerful scenes in the series, perhaps the most powerful. Even after years of film school, this is a rare scene that I can find nothing to complain about, and that is truly special, believe me. Thank you so much for watching, folks. I'm Zach. and I'll see you in the future.